Today, we're on the far east side of San Antonio between Loop 410 and 1604, checking out a brand new neighborhood. We're gonna be in Sienna Lakes. It's a neighborhood brought to you by Chesmar Homes, and we are very much so in what I would call a rural section of San Antonio. This is more of an underdeveloped area, so you're gonna see a lot of acreage, ranches, farmland, things of that nature. I mean, this, before they put homes here, was farmland, which is awesome. So if you're looking for that laid back, outside of city limits vibe, this certainly gives you that, and it also gives you bigger lots. But alongside letting you know what's going on in and around this neighborhood, we're gonna give you a tour of this gorgeous model by Chesmar Homes. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, my name is Quinton Starks, and I'll be your realtor for the next few minutes. Do me a huge favor, go down below and drop a like on the video. It truly does help support the channel. If you don't want to miss out on anything when it comes to the San Antonio real estate market, we encourage you guys to subscribe. Without further ado, let's go inside and check out this gorgeous property. The model in Sienna Lakes is gonna be the Silas. It's just under 3,000 square feet. It's a 4-bed, 3.5 bath home. It does have a 2-car side mounted garage. Every home in this neighborhood has that side mounted garage. And then here on the right, this is gonna actually be what they call a garden garage. So an area for you to put maybe your tools, all your gardening equipment, lawn equipment, that kind of stuff. Nonetheless, here in this neighborhood, they're gonna have prices starting in the low 5s all the way up to 600. But they currently have a Silas as well as other inventory between 475 and 625. So pretty good price point in this neighborhood for those kind of like half-acre lot situations. Nonetheless, as soon as you walk in, I did want to highlight here on the left would actually be a wall, but that is the garage on the other side. You can see the back of the home. And then here on the right, we actually have that office space. So pretty good sized office space. They do have double French doors that have glass accents letting in here. And then in this left corner, you do have a nice little closet for paperwork or printer, things of that nature. Then as you walk in, I love the elevation and ceiling height. I mean, these are huge ceilings. Doorways are gonna be like 8 foot. So ceilings are roughly 12 to 13 feet. Nonetheless, as you get into the heart of the home, you can see how open of a concept it is. I really like that. But before we get there, let's go check out some of these offshoots. So half bath right here for the guest. And then right next to the half bath, you are gonna have a coat closet. So nice little coat closet right here. And like I mentioned, in this model, they do have 8-foot doors throughout, which is nice. Then on the right here is going to be kind of like a little flex space. I personally would probably put some doors or maybe a barn door here. So this could be more or less a media room. It does have windows as well as a closet. So you could really use it for whatever you want. Again, it is a flex room, but again, I would put doors there because it is attached to a bedroom and bathroom. So this could almost be like a mother-in-law suite. They have like a living space here. Then they have their actual bedroom with a bathroom. And I say mother-in-law, but it could be, a guest room as well for whatever guests are visiting. And then it does only have a stand-up shower. Mind you, Chesmar is a semi-custom kind of like home designer. So you can pick your finishes as well as different aesthetics throughout the home. So for example, if you didn't like the colors in here, you could change it, or specifically with this shower, if you wanted a tub shower for kids, right? You could easily make that a tub shower if you're building from the ground up. So something to keep in mind. We'll actually see their design center here in a second, but we walk right back into the heart of the home. So kitchen on our left, dining in the back, and then you have the living space on the right. I actually love how this flows. Typically, nowadays builders would put the kitchen and the dining in the middle and then the living right after, but I actually like how they segmented it off a little bit more while still keeping a really good open concept. Nonetheless, let's talk about the kitchen first. Huge island here in the middle, which is nice. You have some opportunity for in-kitchen dining with the stools, and they didn't put cabinets on the back, but it's kind of that like cabinet look rather than just having drywall, which is nice. And they did a two-tone look from the back wall to the island. So again, kind of that semi-custom home builder I was telling you about, where you can pick your finishes. They do have J-Craft custom cabinets in here, which is nice. And then in the model, they elected to go all the way up with the cabinetry. There's gonna be certain items in here that are upgrades, so something to keep in mind, it is a model home. They're just giving you an option of what you could do with your home if you built from the ground up. In standard, they do a electric cooktop. They do pre-plumb for gas, so if you wanted to put a propane tank and have gas cooking, or a gas snub in the back of the home, you could do that. But standard does come electric, something I definitely want to make sure I notated. And then I love those pendant lights that they have in here. But as we continue through, they do have in the island the sink as well as an RO system. And I love how you can see your guests in the living space or the dining room. And then if you look at the windows, they have great views. So we are, again, gonna be kind of like more remote. So you have a lot of just vacant land. And then through the back, at least in the model, you're gonna have a view of the lake in the neighborhood, which we'll see here in a little bit. Continuing on, we get to like this dining nook. This is gonna be the dedicated dining area. So the only spot in the house to dine other than the island, but it's a pretty good size. I think the square table works the best in here, but you could still fit a rectangle if you wanted to. And then I wanna mention those windows one more time. Just picture frame windows, love it. Over here on the left, we're also gonna have the stove as well as the microwave, and then a nice little kind of like coffee bar area tucked over here. This is probably exactly what I would use it for, my Nespresso. On the left, we have the pantry. So a pretty good sized pantry, fit a lot of stuff in there. And I love how they put this nice little kind of shoe area, right? This is like more for the garage, since the garage is right here. And this is the design center I was telling you about. So this is a side mounted garage. Again, that would be walled. This is not where the garage door would be. It'd be coming from the side of the home, but you can see all of the different finishes. Those are cabinets there. On this wall, you have a bunch of different tile, and then that back wall is all the flooring options. So like I mentioned, if you were to build from the ground up with Chesmar, you could get really granular with the details throughout the home, or you could build, a base level home and still have it at a really, really good price, which is nice. And then this little area obviously is the washer and dryer. So going back into the heart of the home, we'll look at this living space, really good size living room. And I love how they put this like vault with the beam up top. Mind you, the beam's probably not standard, but still I really like how they did that. And then they actually put a fireplace in here as well, which is cool. I personally never use my fireplace, but I know some people can't live without it. Anyways, this is a huge space, so much opportunity for furniture use. They obviously put a huge sectional. If you've watched my videos before, you know I love me a good sectional, but I love how you have the sliding glass doors back here for that indoor-outdoor living. And then boom, you get to just see that awesome lake/pond view, at least in this particular lot. We'll go out back here in a second, but before we do, let's go check out the last two bedrooms and bathrooms. So, pretty good sized bedrooms. These are gonna be in the back right corner of the home. And then they also do have decent sized closets, pretty good closet space. I probably would use these as like kids' bedrooms, but nonetheless, pretty good size rooms. To my right is the bathroom, but over here, you actually have access from this bedroom to the bathroom as well. So your favorite kid or your oldest kid can have this room. So they have their own vanity, and it does close off from the actual bathroom. So if someone's using the bathroom or taking a shower or something, you can have privacy. And then same thing for this particular vanity as well. And then obviously it goes back into the hall. So Cross is gonna be actually the primary bedroom. Before we get into there, let's go check out the backyard. So I opened the sliding glass doors to show you kind of that indoor-outdoor living situation. So you can just open them up and really just take in the great outdoors of San Antonio. Nonetheless, here's gonna be a nice little covered patio, pretty good size. They have 2 couches, so some nice outdoor furniture out here. And you also do get a quite cool little vault in the ceiling here. And then something else I wanted to notate is you do get, again, that gas stub outside, so you can have like an outdoor kitchen if you like. But just look at this lot. Again, these are gonna be half-acre lots, so huge blank canvases to really do whatever you want back here. They don't have too much going on with the HOA, not crazy amenities like a pool or anything like that. The biggest thing is gonna be the lake, as you can see right there. But really, again, just a blank canvas with this backyard to do whatever you want. You can put a pool in your backyard, sports court, I mean, you name it. There's just so many limitless opportunities back here to make it your own. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in and around this neighborhood. So like I mentioned earlier, we're gonna be between 410 and 1604 on the east side of San Antonio. So 410 and 1604 that are the big loops that loop the actual city of San Antonio. And if you look on the map, we're on 1346. So if you go east or west, we're gonna be about 10 minutes from either of those highways. So you have fairly good highway access out here, given that we are a little bit more in like a rural setting. But I think that's the draw of this neighborhood. You're more so outskirts, not really in the city, but you still have access to the city and a bunch of things around. I mean, we're only probably 15 or so minutes from major shopping, whether that's like the Forum or Brook City base. There's HEBs everywhere, so you're gonna be like 10 to 15 minutes from HEB as well, which is our local grocery chain for those that are looking at relocating here. But again, I think the biggest draw of this neighborhood is gonna be like the bigger lots. Obviously there's a lake behind me, so you get more of that like rural feel without having to be 50, 30, an hour away from like the actual city. Being that we're only 20, 25 minutes from downtown, you still have the access to the city amenities all the time, whether it's hospitals, more boutique shopping, finer dining, things of that nature. And then if we look in the neighborhood, we're gonna be in an HOA, so good and bad things come with HOAs, but it's only at $550 a year, which is very reasonable for San Antonio. That's kind of the average you see in the San Antonio area, especially when it comes to these bigger lot neighborhoods. With that, you don't get many amenities. You get the lake, pond, however you want to say, that behind me. They maintain the common areas, and then you have some walking trails throughout the neighborhood. So nothing crazy, no pool, nothing like that. But the good thing is you have these blank canvases of a backyard to do whatever you want with. On top of that, the next thing I wanted to talk about are like the cons of the neighborhood, if you will, or with every pro there's a con, right? So my biggest 2 drawbacks I would say probably for this neighborhood is the tax rate and then the schools. So the tax rate is a little bit above the San Antonio average at a 2.2%. And then the schools are East Central, which isn't like a terrible school district by any means, but like if you look at niche.com, it's a C+, which is slightly above average, on the grading scale. So overall, I think this is a great neighborhood. And to be honest with you, the clients that at least talk to me or ask me about this neighborhood or want more details about this neighborhood are typically retired empty nesters. They don't really care too much about schools because they just want an area that's not in the city that you can still be relatively close and access the city. So that's kind of like, I feel like their target audience being Chestmar, not to say that they have a target audience, but that's who I guess would fit this neighborhood a little bit better. But with all that being said, let's go back inside and check out the primary bedroom. As we approach back into the home, again, this is gonna be the living space. That is the front of the home with the kitchen, dining space to the right. And then here, tucked in the back left corner, is going to be the primary bedroom. So a really good sized primary bedroom. I love how it faces the back of the home. Some more windows to just show you your lot and whatever you end up putting back there. But like I mentioned, pretty good size. They have a good amount of furniture in here, huge bed, bunch of tables. They actually have a chair and a little sofa in here. And then they elected to tray the ceiling, which gives it a little bit more depth. And then in the model, they put a nice little barn door. but then you walk into an awesome primary bathroom. So we'll start actually on this back wall here, really big oversized vanity with the framed mirror, and you also get that like nice little get ready area right there. I love this freestanding tub that they did, really nice. And then those windows bring in so much natural light. So I don't know if it really catches in the camera, but it's very bright in here. You have a second vanity there, and then in this corner is going to be the foundation inset shower. And I'm gonna open this because I absolutely love the color scheme in here. You have like this black and olive going on with the black tile on the bottom. I'm gonna definitely steal that for my next home. Nonetheless, you do have a water closet as well. And then over here is gonna be your walk-in closet. So only one, but it's segmented into like 2 different sections, which is awesome. And then right here is gonna be your low voltage. So this is where all like your modem and all the hookups throughout the home are gonna go. So as we walk back out, give you some orientation real quick. Back of the home on the left, those 2 secondary bedrooms there. Obviously we're in the living room, and then that's the front of the house over there. All in all, I thought this was an awesome home, and I really love the fact that you have an on-site lake in the neighborhood. But I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. So go down below, let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, and your favorite feature of this home. Also, if you're looking at making a move to the greater San Antonio area, I want to be your real estate resource of choice. You go down in the description or scan the QR code on screen. You'll see all my contact information. Please don't hesitate to reach out so I can be a resource for you and your family. If you want to see a home similar to this one, click here, and we'll see you on the next video.